Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to thank you for this opportunity that you are granting me to present to you a book about parenting. I am Togo Masego. I'm from Home Health Education Services. Our company works mostly with families. We go into each and every home to try and bring some hope. Because as we look around us, we see every day that people are losing hope, as if the future does not have any solutions. So as Home Health Education Services, we go out to research on different matters, on different things that affect mostly our families. So we deal with children, we deal with family as a whole, marriage, we deal with spiritual matters, we also deal with health issues. So today, I just want to talk specifically about parenting. Now, the book that I am going to present before you, it's called A Guide to Parenting. When we go and buy our vehicles, we always get something that is guiding us how to use our cars, isn't it? But when we come to our children, most of the time, we neglect to look for guidance. We use trial and error. Most of the time, we end up not reaching where we are supposed to reach with our children. So, Guide to Parenting, it's a book that is written by a couple, Jeffrey and Patty Jean Brown. Now, as I have already said, that it's a book that is written by a couple. It tells us about the experience that they have in this book. Now, Jeffrey is a college professor. He is a marriage counselor, and he is also a minister of the gospel. Now, I'm mentioning this so that we understand, as we are going to talk about the book, the experience that is in the book. I have mentioned 3 important categories of the writer. I've said that Jeffrey is one, a college professor. So he is dealing with these things every day. Number 2, I have said Jeffrey is a marriage counselor. Now, he comes into contact with families that are having challenges with their children in his everyday life. Number 3, I have said that Jeffrey is a minister of the gospel, right? So, in the churches that he's attending, ministering to, he is coming into contact with this in his everyday life. That is very crucial for our product, that you understand who is writing to us, who is giving guidance to us. And I have already said that this book is written by a couple. Let me tell you about Patty Jean. Patty Jean is a social worker. You know a social worker? A social worker is someone who's dealing with community in her everyday life. So I am bringing to you a book with so much experience, so much practicality. Now, the book that I am bringing, as I have already said, that it's a guide. It's a guide. It's a guide to parenting. I just want to state that it's got only 10 chapters. So even if you are a very busy parent, even if you are a very busy parent, you can give yourself a little bit time on whatever challenge that you are facing with your children to go through this book. It's having only one index with 10 chapters. And as we see, it's not a big or a huge book. It's a book with only 173 pages. 173 pages. And what I also want to tell you about this wonderful book, it's a book that in each and every chapter, when the chapter ends, it gives some activity for children to do. There are activities that children can do in each and every chapter. So each and every chapter has a child work on whatever you have dealt with as a family. Now, as I have already said that this book is a guide. The first chapter of this book is telling us about the world that we are living in. It is saying that you can try by all means to keep your child as a child. May I ask, how many children are we seeing at the corners of the streets? At our robots? As you stand or as you drive and stop at the robots, do you see any children around there? Now, why do we see children all over while there are parents at home? Now, Jeffrey is trying to tell us in chapter 1 that the world outside is very, very cruel. The world outside is very, very cruel. And he is saying in chapter 1, the world is not enough. You must fight to keep your child as your child. As I am talking to you, if we had enough time, I would ask each and every one of you, where are your children? Most of us as parents, we don't know anything about our children. They come inside the house at night, they get into their bedrooms, they sleep, they wake up in the morning into the bathroom, outside the room. In the kitchen, if they do go to the kitchen, and out of the house. We sometimes have less than 2 minutes with our children, right or wrong? So, Jeffrey is trying to say to us in chapter 1, we are not going to have it easy. We must fight. It's a war because the world is calling for our children, but as parents, we must try to fight as much as we can to keep our children our children. Now, I'm not going to read the whole book to you because you must buy a book so that you read it at home. But I just want to go chapter 1. There is a very crucial thing that I want you to look at in page 17 of chapter 1. Raising a healthy child. Here we've got the acronyms of the word health here, where you are giving guidance of age, have specific time for meals, and minimize eating in front of the television. Now, I'm not going to go through them, but these are very crucial. If you lose the health of your child while your child is still young, the habits that are formed in early years are very difficult to do what? To break when the child is old. So Jeffrey and Batijin are advising us as parents, while our children are still young, we must teach them exactly what to eat, when to eat, what to drink, when to drink. Between meals or after meals, it's in the book. As you will be buying the book and studying it for yourself, you will get the whole information. And I just want to go to chapter 6 of the book, which is talking about the temperaments. They have already touched on temperaments. We all know what temperaments are. Now, this book is telling us that our children are different. You can have the twins, which are identical outside, but they cannot be the same in behavior, right? Now, they are mentioning 4 temperaments. I think we all know what temperaments are. And they are guiding us that as we raise our children, we need to take note of their temperaments, because their temperaments lead them to their behavior. They even lead them into their professions. They are going to choose the work that they are going to do according to their temperaments. Now, it is a guide that the parents must not choose for their children, but they must allow their children to do what? To choose for themselves what they want to be. I'm not holding this book correctly because I am not standing right. But then I just want to go to chapter 9. I'm not, as I have already said, that I'm not going to talk about the whole book. Now, chapter 9 is talking about the diversity, the reconciliation, the repentance, the tolerance. It's talking about how to teach our children to live with other people, how to teach our children to live with the elderly in the house, in the streets, in the church, how to tolerate their different friends who are not like them. And lastly, what I want to bring to you as a need of this book, it's chapter 10 of this book, that our children are our teachers. We can learn from who? From our children. Now, there are many things that are mentioned in this book that our children can teach us as parents. Now, I am presenting to adulthood. As you read this book in chapter 1, you will find that as life has seasons, the life of a child has also what? Seasons. There are 4 seasons in the life of a child. And you need to understand each and every season and how to treat a child during that season. As you put your jacket when it's cold, your child also needs a life jacket of emotions when it is cold in his or her life. I want to present this book to you. After all what I have said, you can agree with me that you can get a manual like this for more than 1,000 rands. Because when you go to a counselor for 1 session, you can pay not less than 500 rands. You can pay, it depends on the qualifications of that counselor. But we at Home Health Education Services, we are bringing a counselor in your home that you can consult in your everyday life as you are facing challenges with your children at only 450 rands.
My name is Masejo from Home Health Education Service. I'm introducing the book Guide to Parenting. There is no school where parents are trained to raise their children, so the book is necessary. The world is full of delinquent children, addicted to drugs, teenage pregnancy, child abuse, and then parents and teachers do not know what to do. At Home Health Education Service, we have a solution for all those problems. Parents have failed, government, stakeholders have failed. Instead of bringing a solution, the problem is getting worse, and everyone is losing hope. The world is becoming hopeless. At Home Health Education Service, we are bringing hope to everyone, parents and schools, and to the world as a whole. Because a child today is a leader of tomorrow. Introduce our book, the book design. A guide to parenting. The introduction as a whole is a guide, not a prescription, because every family is different, including children. It has a hardcover, illuminated, easy to clean when it's dirty. It has beautiful pictures of parents and children with positive note on winning team with your children. Have used a nylon cloth binding that does not tear easily, even if you fold it. A Guide to Parenting by Jeffrey and Pettigen Brown. It was first published in 2003 and reprinted in 2012. It has only 1 index with 10 chapters. Each chapter has information, illustrations, pictures, and quotation. In page 9, there's a quotation that says, "The world goes by and no one sees. No one takes notice of me. I do drugs. I rob houses. No one cares. I have no love for the world or for myself. I have lost my way in the world. Someone help me before it's too late. Somebody love me for who I am." Anonymous 16. Chapter 1, the world is not enough, fighting to keep your children, your children. In each and every chapter, you find verses. What happened? The world is not enough. We need to spend time together as a family. We need to keep our children as children. Television and movies. A study was done by Columbia University and New York State Psychiatric Institution on television viewing habits, 700 people over 17 years. They concluded, our findings suggest that at least during the children's early adolescent, responsible parents should avoid permitting them to watch more than 1 hour of TV a day. The study is not referring to violent programs and any television. The evidence has reached to the point where it is overwhelming. Some countries have TV turn off, which designed to get the families off couch. Family meals, we need feed mental health. Do not skip breakfast, but rather skip supper. What you feed your child has everything to do with their performance at school. Bring it on. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. The kind of school you will choose for your child, being private, public, or homeschool, whichever design you make, be mindful of that is going to be put in the child's mind. It also has 10 tips to help your child succeed at school. Life strategies for children, 7 habits of highly effective teens. Chapter 3, the whole 9 yards on some team with your children. The father's pledge. If you want children to love you, you must love their mother. 7 steps to responsible fatherhood. Exodus 20, verse 5. The curse can be reversed. Those fathers need to be found. 10 commandments of good listening. Who let the dogs out? It's all about abuse, rape, breaking the silence. Chapter 5, the enemy of the state. When the child that dies is yours, grieving parents, it helps with the grieving and also with the time for healing. There is something about Mary. Temperaments, every child is unique. Some parents, different children. Same parents, different children. Character.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Nayo.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How can I help you?
I come from the organization called Home Health and Education Services. It looks at the welfare of homes.
Okay.
I have brought here a book called A Guide to Parenting.
Oh, you are talking about books.
Yes.
I think I'm supposed to go out now, and I think I'm going on time. What kind of minutes are you going to spend with me?
How many minutes can you give me?
Okay, I can give you 5 minutes because I'm in a rush.
Okay.
Okay.
I can do everything within 5 minutes.
Okay.
This book is written by Jeffrey and Patty Yan Brown.
Okay.
When you look from the very first page, it gives you the qualifications of these 2 people, which make them suitable for guiding our children. You know, the world is not enough to teach our children to be free from abuse,
Okay.
delinquency, all different types of delinquency.
Okay.
So that is why I have brought this guide to you this morning. When you look from the outside, this book is laminated, meaning that it is going to stay from generation to generation, because if it becomes dirty, you can just wipe it and it becomes very clean.
Okay.
And it has also a nylon binding, which means that it is not going to be easy for it to be torn.
Okay.
So when you look at this book, it has got illustrations. It guides you. Even the pictures, when you look at them, will tell you exactly what the book is about.
Okay.
If you turn to page 34, it will give you 10 steps to help your children succeed at school. You know, the schools, the churches, homes, all those institutions have failed to give our children good characters. So that is why this organization I'm talking about has decided to give parents this guide.
Okay.
They are helping parents to take more time with their children.
Okay.
Even if you take your child to a public school, a private school, whatever type of school, but it is very important for parents to spend some time with their children. I didn't know that even from children we can learn. There are lessons that we can even learn from our children if we sit with them.
Okay. What kind of lessons can they give us?
You know, children can teach us to be good parents.
Okay.
Because you know, children are very outspoken. They can help us to be good parents because they will tell us exactly what they want.
Okay.
They help even other children to be good colleagues.
Okay.
And it has also some quotations to show that the authors have consulted with other experienced parents.
Okay.
And it has also quotations from the Bible.
Oh, it has the Bible also. The Bible is inside also. Okay. I think that can make me love the book. If ever it's something that has God inside, it makes sense.
Yes, I'm very much glad to hear that, because today parents have neglected to teach their children about the good character which is in the Bible. Can you please just page through and see the illustrations I'm talking about? And also a look on page 34, where I have said there are 10 tips to help your children succeed at school.
Okay. I think I could need the book. But I'm in a hurry, by the way. How can I buy the book?
How do you, the price of the book is 339. I
Okay.
think it. How do you want to pay the book?
Yeah, I think I can pay it. Do you have account? I can pay it through a bank. Do you have any account that I can deposit your money? Because today I don't have any money.
Yes, we have an account.
Okay.
So you are going to deposit to the bank? Eh?
Yes, month end I'm going to deposit your money in the bank.